Shraddha Walkar was born in 1995 in Vasai, which is in the Palghar district of Maharashtra, India. She lived with her parents, Vikas Madan Walkar and Suman Madan Walkar, as well as her younger brother, Srijay Walkar. Shraddha was pursuing a bachelor's degree in mass media at the New English School of Viva College. In their adolescence, Shraddha and her brother witnessed frequent fighting between their mother and father. Finally, in 2016, Shraddha's father, Vikas, would eventually separate from his wife, Suman, and would move into a house with his mother, away from his kids and his soon-to-be ex-wife, but in the same locality. Shraddha and her brother would stay in the family home with their mother. In 2018, Shraddha decided to take on full-time work in order to remove some of the burden from her mother. Living in the small city of Palghar, which lacked the myriad of resources that a big city would boast, Shraddha decided to move to the metropolis of Mumbai to look for loftier opportunities to enrich not only her life, but that of her family's as well. With the help of a friend, Shraddha moved to Mumbai and rented a modest flat. She was able to secure an entry-level job at a call center in a multinational company in Malad, Mumbai. As Shraddha was a newcomer to the city, she was looking forward to making friends. And while working at her new job, Shraddha met Aftab Amin Poonawalla. It is unclear how the two initially met, with some sources claiming that Shraddha met Aftab via the Bumble app, while other sources claim they simply met at work. Aftab worked at the same company as Shraddha. Coincidentally, he had lived in the same area of Vasai as Shraddha before he too moved to Mumbai for a job. This made for a fast friendship. Aftab had done his schooling at St. Francis High School in Vasai and had completed his bachelor's in management studies from LS Rahija College. Aftab liked cooking and had an Instagram account dedicated to food with the Insta handle of Hungry Chokro, where he would review restaurants and eateries. Shraddha and Aftab started spending much of their free time together. They would regularly talk on the phone and meet in person outside of work. Aftab shared Shraddha's passion for traveling and love of hiking, which brought them closer together both in friendship and in romance. Soon, Shraddha and Aftab would make their coupling official, and Aftab would eventually ask Shraddha to move in with him. Together, they would take out a lease on a flat in the Kini complex in Naigaon East. In 2019, Shraddha decided to visit her mother in Palghar. Shraddha told her mother about her relationship with Aftab. She told her mother that she was falling in love with him and that they were housed together in an official relationship. She also told her mother that she intended to marry Aftab. Shraddha's mother, however, was against her relationship. In a later interview, Shraddha's father said, quote, "My daughter told my wife in 2019 that she wants to be in a live-in relationship with Aftab Poonawalla. My wife and I told her not to because I am Hindu, and that boy is Muslim. We don't do interreligion marriage." Shraddha got angry with her parents, and a fight ensued. Her parents recall that she stormed out of her house, saying, quote, "I'm 25 years old now, and I have every right to make my own decisions." Shraddha went back to Mumbai and cut off all ties with her family. Her mother tried contacting Shraddha several times and even attempted to dissuade her from marrying Aftab. However, Shraddha was adamant she wanted to marry Aftab regardless of her family's beliefs. In January of 2020, Shraddha's mother died of natural causes. Shraddha went back to her family home for her mother's funeral and reportedly told her father that she had been fighting with Aftab and that Aftab had been physically abusing her. However, she made the caveat that Aftab would always apologize for his actions and eventually everything would go back to normal. Shraddha's father told her to leave Aftab and move back to Vasai, but Shraddha insisted that Aftab was not a bad person and that she still wanted to marry him. The relationship between Shraddha and her father had become strained ever since her father started living separately. She would not talk to him, and he recalls that the only updates he would get of her were from her social media posts. After her mother's funeral, Shraddha moved back to her flat in Mumbai. In total, Shraddha talked to her father on the phone only 3 times after her mother's death. The third call would be the last time that Shraddha's father ever heard from her. While both would get updates about Shraddha's life from her social media posts, Shraddha would officially cut all contact from her father and brother. Shraddha was active on Instagram and WhatsApp. She would regularly post pictures of her food and drinks, and her WhatsApp status would change frequently. From these posts, her brother and father would know that Shraddha was doing okay day to day. With no family to turn to, Aftab became the only emotional anchor in Shraddha's life. Aftab was by her side after her mother's death, and Shraddha's friend, in an interview, said about him, quote, "Shraddha used to tell me that Aftab would cook for her, even feed her with his own hands. But she also told me how the same man would thrash her brutally at other times." Shraddha and Aftab would have arguments regarding financial issues. Shraddha would work and pay for their living expenses for much of the time. Aftab would, for the most part, stay home and do nothing. He was never able to hold down a job. Shraddha reportedly also accused Aftab of cheating. She said that she'd caught him talking to other women on dating apps several times, which resulted in many fights. However, every time there would be an argument, Aftab would later say sorry to Shraddha, and she would eventually forgive him. Despite all the violent fights, Shraddha still wanted to marry Aftab and start a family, but he kept putting it off. Aftab also claimed to friends that he felt Shraddha was pressuring him into marriage, a point of contention, he said, which often escalated their arguments to larger fights. By mid-2020, Aftab's parents got to know more about their relationship. His parents were also against their being together and dissuaded him from an interreligious marriage. However, he was adamant. In October of 2020, the couple moved from their apartment in Naigaon to a Regal Cooperative Housing Society in Vasai. Reportedly, in the rental application, they described themselves as a married couple. Shraddha had not talked about Aftab's violent outbursts to her friends. It was only in November of 2020 that she called one of them and told them about Aftab's abusive behavior. The friend said, quote, "Shraddha reached out to me after being beaten up by Aftab. My friend and I went to their flat and confronted Aftab and threatened to file a case against him. Shraddha stayed for 2 days at the house of a common friend, but then she again went back to him. I do not know what influence he had on her, but one thing was clear. She loved him and was emotionally dependent on him." On November 21st, 2020, after being assaulted yet again, Shraddha went with a friend to Tulinj police station in Nalasopara to file a complaint. In the complaint letter to the police, Shraddha said that Aftab had been abusing her and beating her, and said that he even attempted to kill her through suffocation. She further stated, quote, "He scares and blackmails me that he will kill me, cut me up in pieces, and throw me away. It's been 6 months that he has been hitting me, but I did not have the guts to go to the police because he would threaten to kill me." In the letter, Shraddha claimed that Aftab's parents would visit the couple on weekends and that they were aware he beat her. She submitted the letter, and the police then asked her to get a medical exam for the official record. However, Shraddha changed her mind prior to doing so, most likely, her friends suppose, out of mortal fear. The police said that Shraddha had filed an application, but that she had not proceeded further with the complaint, as she neglected to file an FIR. An FIR is the first information report used by police organizations to triage cases. It is unclear why Shraddha chose not to pursue her police report further, but some sources claim that Aftab arrived at the station and entreated her to take back the complaint before submission, otherwise he claimed he would kill himself. While other sources claim that Shraddha never proceeded further due to Aftab's parents making a promise that Aftab would move out of the apartment. Shraddha still stayed with Aftab, and regular arguments and fights continued throughout the year of 2021. Shraddha would pursue Aftab for marriage, but he was reluctant, which led to frequent fights, often turning physical yet again. In 2022, in an effort to renew their relationship, they decided to move out of Mumbai and shift their lives to Delhi for better job opportunities and possibly a life away from their families. But before moving, they decided to go on a hiking trip to Himachal Pradesh, as both enjoyed hiking and hoped this trip could be a turning point for their relationship. According to one of her friends, Shraddha had told him that she'd saved up a small amount of money, which she hoped would last the couple for at least 2 months. They had hoped to find a job in Delhi after returning from their hiking trip. On the 6th of May, 2022, the couple left for their brief but rugged vacation, arriving back to their new home in the city of Delhi on May 8th. They checked into a hotel and stayed at the hotel for 1 to 2 days. On the 11th or 12th of May, the couple went to a common friend who lived in Shadipur. The friend helped them find and rent an apartment there. The couple soon shifted to their new apartment. They hoped that this would be the beginning of a new life. However, the problems they had in their relationship continued in Delhi. Frequent fights would occur about trivial matters. Shraddha's friends and family had no idea that she had moved to Delhi. Shraddha's father and brother used to get updates about her life from her social media posts. However, by September of 2022, Shraddha had not posted anything for many months. Worried, Shraddha's father and brother tried contacting her several times. However, her phone had been switched off. They contacted Shraddha's friends, and one of her friends had told them that Shraddha and Aftab had moved to Delhi a few months prior and had been staying and working there. However, they said that they had not had any contact with Shraddha for the last few months and told them that her phone had been switched off for some time. Now extremely worried, Shraddha's father reported her missing at the Mumbai police station in September of 2022. The police started their investigation and soon tracked down Aftab, living in the same Chadapur apartment. He was called to the Mumbai police station for questioning. He told police that Shraddha does not live with him anymore. He claimed that she left with another lover on the 18th of May and that he did not know her whereabouts. The police did not pursue him further, thinking he was a depressed boyfriend whose girlfriend had left with another man. When the Mumbai police were not able to find any leads, however, they transferred the case to Delhi police, as Delhi was the last known location of Shraddha. Shraddha's father traveled to Delhi in early November and gave every detail that he knew to the Delhi police. Delhi police went to Aftab's apartment in Chadapur and questioned him. He again claimed that Shraddha left with a lover and that he did not know where she was. He also told police to find her quickly as he was worried and had tried to contact her but to no avail. Police then checked Aftab's call records and found that after May 18th, he had not contacted Shraddha at all. Police also found that Aftab had told his landlord a different story than what he told police about why Shraddha was not with him. Suspicions immediately fell on Aftab, and he was taken to the police station and interrogated. During this interrogation, Aftab broke down and confessed to killing Shraddha. On the night of the 18th of May, just 3 days after moving into their apartment, Aftab claims that Shraddha started pressuring him to marry her again, but Aftab did not want to, and they started fighting, and it turned violent. During the fight, Shraddha started screaming at him, and in extreme rage, Aftab recalls that he held her neck and choked her. According to Aftab, he was trying to silence her. However, by the time he took his hands off Shraddha's neck, Shraddha was dead. Aftab told police that even though he realized that he had just killed Shraddha, he was oddly relaxed. Aftab said that he slept that night in the same room where he had killed Shraddha. He then woke up the next day and started planning regarding how to dispose of her body. Aftab loved watching crime thrillers, and he admitted to the police that he was inspired by the American TV series Dexter. So, the next morning, he went to the market and bought a refrigerator. The following day, he went out and bought a saw, plastic bags, bleach, a backpack, and a few chemicals from different shops. All the while, Shraddha's body was still in their apartment. He then dragged her body into the bathroom and began chopping it into very small pieces. He then put them into plastic bags and put the plastic bag into the freezer. He would store the rest of her body in the lower compartment of the refrigerator, where he also kept his groceries. To mask the smell in the apartment, he lit several incense sticks and used disinfectants and chemicals. He also utilized several chemicals, as well as bleach, to wash the bathroom so that no bloodstains could be detected by forensics. According to police, Aftab's search history contained searches such as how to destroy a body, how to remove bloodstains, and how to decompose a body. Aftab recalled that after killing Shraddha, the breaking down of her body took 10 hours to complete. He recalls his exhaustion at the end of the arduous task and says that after he was done, he drank a beer, smoked some cigarettes, and proceeded to take a shower. Aftab reportedly was fond of ordering food from local restaurants on apps such as Zomato or other online food delivery apps, and so he ordered food to be delivered at his home. Police noted that in the aftermath of his crime, he would always order for 2 people in order to deter suspicion. He would go on to eat the food and put the leftovers in the very same refrigerator in which he was storing his girlfriend's body. On the 21st of May, Aftab got up around 1 to 2 a.m. in order to take out a few plastic bags that had body parts in them. He put them in a backpack and took it with him. He would then walk to the Meherori forest area, which was about a 20 to 30 minute walk from his apartment. There, in the forest, he would dump the remains. He would not simply abandon the plastic bags, but would empty them onto the forest floor so that the remains would decompose faster. He would then separately discard the plastic bags. After dumping the parts, he went back to his apartment in order to make note of how many body pieces he had thrown away. He would make a rough note of where he dumped each and every body part. The police would later find this diary in his apartment. For the next 10 to 15 days, until around June 5th, he would wake up at night, take out a few of the plastic bags with the body parts, and throw them into the forest. He meticulously would plan which parts to dispose of first, depending on which part would start to decompose at the earliest. On June 5th, he dumped Shraddha's head, but before that, he poured kerosene over it and lit it on fire so that it became unidentifiable even if the head was found. He disposed of the remainder of the parts in several different areas of the city. Aftab reportedly dumped the tools that he used in the Meherori forest. Police were in shock as to how he was able to do all of this in an area which is quite densely populated. Even his neighbors were shocked, as they had no idea that Shraddha had even been living there. While he was dumping the body parts, Aftab also started using Shraddha's phone and pretended to be her. He would reply to friends on WhatsApp, and he posted on social media several times so that her friends and family would not get suspicious. Police also found that during this time, Aftab was active on dating apps such as Bumble. He met a woman through this app and invited her to his apartment. She spent the night with him. All the while, Shraddha's body parts and her head were still in his refrigerator. The woman, however, was unaware of this. Police noted that Aftab was strangely calm and relaxed during his interrogation. According to police sources, there was no remorse visible on his face during his interrogation. It was later found that Shraddha's phone was last active on October 23rd. After that, Aftab reportedly threw her phone into Vasai Creek in Mumbai. He did this when he was called to the Mumbai police station for questioning in October, when Shraddha's father had finally reported her missing. During their initial investigation, the Delhi police found a pending water bill from Aftab's flat. The Delhi government provides 20,000 liters of water for free. While most houses in the neighborhood have no water bill, Aftab's flat had an outstanding water bill of 300 rupees, which led them to suspect Aftab was using his flat for nefarious purposes. Investigators believe that Aftab may have used a large quantity of water to clean up the bloodstains. They note that Aftab probably left the shower on while carrying out his gruesome crime, so that he could cut the body parts easily with the blood flowing directly into the sewer. Neighbors told police that Aftab would regularly go and check the building's water tank. Their suspicions grew stronger when they found out that Shraddha's phone was used on May 26th in order to transfer 54,000 rupees from Shraddha's bank account to Aftab's account. Aftab had claimed that Shraddha had left him on May 18th, only carrying her phone, and that he had no contact with her since. The location of the bank transfer also turned out to be in the Chhatarpur area. Besides this, on the 31st of May, there was a chat with her friend from Shraddha's Instagram account. When the police found out the location of Shraddha's phone, it was also in Chhatarpur. When questioned as to why Shraddha's phone location was traced to his exact home, even though he claimed Shraddha had taken her phone with her, Aftab could not answer. It was at this moment that Aftab finally revealed the truth. It took 6 months for anyone to actually realize that Shraddha was dead. By that time, most of the body parts had decomposed. Police were able to recover 13 bone fragments from the Mehrori forest, and they were sent for forensic testing. On December 15, 2022, a forensic report stated that the bone samples found in the forest matched the DNA of Shraddha Walkar's father, Vikas Walkar, confirming that the remains did belong to Shraddha. Shraddha's head, however, has yet to be found. The police have also not found the murder weapon. Investigators also found weapons at Aftab's flat, including knives and a handsaw, but they are yet to be conclusively linked to the crime. Police conducted a forensic test of Aftab's apartment and were able to retrieve traces of blood, even though he'd cleaned his apartment several times with chemicals and bleach. On December 23, 2022, the traces of blood retrieved from the apartment were confirmed to belong to Shraddha Walkar. The 2 forensic reports were crucial to the investigation, as police so far did not have concrete evidence against Aftab. The case had heavily relied on Aftab's confession, as well as circumstantial evidence, which are not admissible in court. Aftab could have easily said later in court that his confession was coerced, and the police would have no choice but to let him go. The Delhi police are scrambling to find corroborative evidence which could help in the investigation and result in a conviction. The investigation is currently ongoing. Shraddha's heartbroken family continues to hold out hope that the murderer will be brought to justice.